today we need to get into V being in trouble as we see him a bit ripped up. We also need to get into a rumor of him allegedly in a photo with his senior at the camp, and then the image was deleted. And then we have to get into a funny story of a company apologizing over posting Jungkook. So Dumplings, it's Dave. Decide hate it or not, make sure you're subscribed with the notification bell on. Grab your dumpling and hey spilling bug merch and let's go. So we need to talk about social media and specifically the company or labels or social media. Now I am not talking about Hype or Big Hit, but another company. This group was under several labels in the span of their career. They did end up disbanding, but when they were all together, they were under Kakao, Sony Music, and many others. Of course, I'm talking about none other than EXIT. This is a girl group, if you're unfamiliar, and after one of the members left, they ended up disbanding in 2020. However, recently a moment that happened during their promotion has gone viral and has involved Jungkook. ARMYs have been going crazy and trying to look into old BTS moments to fill their craving for new BTS content since the members are no longer active right now. They ended up finding a moment where the social media team posted Jungkook's livestream on EXIT's Twitter or X account. They were surprisingly mixed reactions from this action. Most normal people likely just thought that it was a mistake. It's not a big deal at all, which it's not. However, other people in the fandom seem to think that it was done on purpose in order for EXIT to get clout because people were going to be reporting on the thing since it involved Jungkook. However, this is where it's crazy, and I think people in the fandom aren't always aware that it's a person behind the screen and behind social media, that people can often make mistakes and not everything is specifically done or curated to get publicity or attention, and it's not good to think that there's always a negative intention behind a mistake, because the person who made the mistake is likely being crucified for it anyway. They're getting their internal team yelling at them, and then of course there's people on the outside writing these terrible comments. It only adds salt to the wound because they're already really upset. And then there's people probably requesting that the social media person get fired or something. What I think was absolutely hilarious was that the person managing EXIT was probably watching Jungkook's live stream, and then when it was time to post, they probably decided to just copy a link and they accidentally copied whatever page they were on. It naturally shows the power that Jungkook has, that people from various different labels and entertainments all love watching Jungkook live. And there's no doubt of this, right? Because his lives generate tens of millions of views. Now, the post stayed on EXIT's account for over 30 minutes before it was removed. Apparently, it wasn't until after the fans notified the social media manager or the social media managers before it was actually taken down. And then apparently EXIT's fans were even more upset as they got notification. And when you get a notification, typically you just see text, and then when you click on it, they see a video of a live stream of someone they may not even care about. The label replied with a response that they were looking into it as people were claiming that the group's account got hacked, and they apologized. I don't think anything public came of this as we didn't get an update. The fandom actively decides who gets to be the bad guy and who isn't. Fortunately, I'm really glad that this really didn't escalate too far, and I'm hoping that nothing happened with the social media manager, as that would suck because we'd have to remember that this is a human being behind the account, and when they're managing it, this is like their livelihood. So they could have kids, they could have all these things, and if they got fired, that would suck. And there's always new viral fun things that come out all the time, and so if you're upset, then you won't keep up with all the fun stuff that's happening. And there was actually one very funny thing that happened recently that went super viral. So what happened? One specific ARMY showed a photo on X or Twitter, and it was a crumpled up, ripped up photo card of V. The photo went viral up to about almost 400,000 people, and basically what happened was a dog had chewed up V's photo card. Of course, this went viral for many reasons, as people thought it was very cute that a dog had chewed it up, and then the other thing was just the fact that photo cards are very sacred in the fandom, and to see someone or an animal kind of take it up and chew it up, it's kind of heartbreaking. You know, I've been in ARMY for a few years now. I don't specifically have a photo of each of the BTS members, and so I imagine a lot of ARMYs feel the exact same way and are very sad when they see a photo card being chewed up when they're worth a lot of money. I mean, you could sell them for like probably upwards of $50 and someone would buy them. Of course, the owner made sure to say that they definitely forgave their puppy for ripping up the photo card, but of course, overall, this was absolutely hilarious. Of course, next time, everyone would know to keep their photo card away from dogs' reach, either keep it in their wallet, keep it in a drawer, or keep it somewhere where obviously an animal can't get to it. I imagine obviously it probably wasn't on the floor or anything like that, but if it's sat on a table, a dog or a cat can definitely get to it. Many people were saying this was symbolic for V being in trouble or being torn up. However, I think not everything means something, and I actually think if V saw this, he would think it's absolutely hilarious too, as I am sure his own dog Yontan has probably chewed up things numerous times before, and that's just what happens with animals. I love seeing viral things and all over social media and people having a good laugh over these things. Things like this that bring the community together, and it's things like this that make every single individual fan realize that the community and the fandom is much bigger than they anticipated. Also that they are going to be able to find their own people even outside of the common interests of the group, if that makes sense. So just because they like the group doesn't mean that they're only going to be people who like the group and nothing else. There's going to be people who like other things, have pets, go through the same struggles that they go through. However, with that said, there's been some rumors going around that are very interesting to say the least. There was one particular rumor that happened where it was believed that the Camp app posted a pic of V, and it wasn't just any photo of him, but apparently he was standing next to a senior woman. This rumor went viral because it was believed that he was doing something with this woman, or that he might be dating in the military, or specifically dating this senior. And I think that is a very interesting rumor that is a bit of a stretch. That is definitely overthinking a tad. The idea that V might be in the camp canoodling with someone or being with someone is something that the fandom is very scared of, which of course is ridiculous, because if he decides to be with someone, that should not be something that people are scared of. They instead should be very happy that he is choosing to be with someone. And why not be with a female soldier? We already know that she is going to be very strong, she is going to be very athletic, and she's going to be worthy of V. Apparently the rumor goes a little bit further to say that it actually wasn't V on the app, but it was someone that looked like him, and that person was next to a female soldier, and it was accidentally posted on the Camp app and then mistaken to be V. But then the rumor continues to say that Hybe was the one who went in and asked for the photo to be deleted. Now this is where I draw the line between actual real news and something that actually did happen versus AI news, because of these videos that I see, a lot of them are stories that I don't really find. In fact, if there was a huge story where it was allegedly V next to a female soldier and that was posted in the app, I think that would have been a big deal. Instead, I haven't heard any of the news from that, and I haven't heard any of the news talking about how the company requested a specific photo taken off the app. Now, the reason why this news is even passable as somewhat realistic is because Hybe did ask the app to take down some BTS photos that were put on the app. If you're unaware of what happened, basically the app was posting BTS photos in a way that made it seem like they were trying to profit off the group. They had their own forums, and it was even rumored that they were selling merch at one point. This, of course, makes it seem like the photos that should not be posted would be posted, and thus the label and people would ask for those photos to be taken off. However, since the label has made the request for the content to stop being posted on the app, no weird content has been posted on the app, and no content that makes it seem like the boys endorsing the military or anything like that have been posted on the app. So I don't think that things like this would be posted. Also, most people who would see V with a female soldier or a female saloon leader are just going to think that they're working together. Most people are not going to get up in arms about V being with a female soldier, as being in the military isn't necessarily the most romantic place to be. There's nothing romantic about it. Fighting in the cold, going through extreme temperatures, holding guns, there's nothing romantic about this. Let me know what you think. Make sure you check out Patreon for more videos. Link down below. Thanks for this lovely comment right here. Love you. Bye.